Hello, I am Patricia Lopes. I am a Brazilian composer and pianist. And today I'm going to talk a bit about my creative process, especially about blending text with music. And I'm going to talk about my song cycle that I composed music for poems by Fernando Pessoa. He is a Portuguese national poet, one of the most important Portuguese writers. He's from the beginning of the 20th century, and the name of the song cycle is The Feminine in Pessoa. Before I begin, I would like to talk about the most important teacher that I had. Her name is Marisa Rezende. She's one of the most important Brazilian composers today, and I had the privilege to study with her. She was my principal advisor when I did my master's degree in musical composition at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. And I am grateful for all her patience and her teachings. When I started thinking about this video and organizing the ideas, I was thinking, why do I enjoy so much composing music from texts, and what makes me so inspired, and what is a challenge for me? And so I listed some of the ideas that I had, and I think that one of the things that is fascinating for me is the theme of the poem. It's a source of inspiration, and also the structure that the poem suggests. Because it's a text, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's already there. And this is also a direction for me. And I feel free to stretch times, to run for a few moments, to take breaks, to create instrumental dialogues. And I feel safe to do this, because there is already an anchorage and a shelter for me, which is the poem itself. I can also repeat certain words or passages, and I also like to observe the melody and the natural rhythm of the phrases, and also the rhythm of each word individually, the strong accents and the weak accents, and I choose not to run away from this. I like to go with the natural rhythm of what I have already, which is the text.
Quando eu não te tinha, amava. Amava a natureza como monge calmo, a Cristo. Agora amo a natureza como monge calmo, a Virgem
Usually when I compose at the piano. And when I am composing for texts, composing music for texts, I use my voice. And I have this sensation that the music is happening inside my body because I'm using an instrument that's inside me. And this is very different from when I compose for instrumental music, when I have this feeling, this sensation that the music is happening outside my body, and it's really a very different sensation. One of the important aspects that I bring to my music is my Brazilian heritage. During my formative years, I listened to classical Western music and also to vocal Brazilian music. And I had the privilege to listen to the most important Brazilian composers such as Tom Jobim, Chico Buarque, Ivan Lins, Milton Nascimento, Dorival Caymmi, and their music had a great influence in how I built my musical aesthetics. And I also listened to Villa Lobos music, and these images that these Brazilian images that I bring are not deliberate, they are intuitive. And I noticed this when I had the feedback from the audience and from my colleagues as well. When I started composing this song cycle, I spent a considerable amount of time reading the poems of Fernando Pessoa and trying to get in contact with what each text meant to me. The selection of the poems was intuitive. I tried to select the ones that I believed had the most to do with the theme, and in this case, it is about the feminine. So before I start composing, I have to make a lot of choices. And I will mention here a few of these choices, because for each piece there are so many different situations and different decisions to make. So I will give here some examples of how I create music for texts and how I did this in this song cycle.
Cansa sentir.
One of the things that I have to decide in the very beginning, when I'm blending text with music, is if the text will be sung or spoken. This means I will compose music with melody on the words, or if I will compose music as instrumental dialogues with the poem being recited or with the words being spoken. And then for composing the music, the text itself already gives me a very good clue about the texture and the character of the music that I wish to create. So the feminine in Pessoa has 15 songs, of which 3 are recited poems of Fernando Pessoa with instrumental dialogues, and 12 have melody to the texts. I will give here examples of two songs. So they are Já Não Sei Andar Só Pelos Caminhos, and the English translation is I No Longer Know How to Walk the Roads Alone. And the other song is Passei Toda Noite Sem Dormir, and the translation is I Spent All Night Without Sleeping.
Pesa-me o informe real que existe na noite antes de amanhecer.
So, before I started, I picked one point of the text that I believed was the most important, and also the point that I wanted to emphasize.
Já não sei andar só pelos caminhos. O amor é uma companhia. Já não sei andar só pelos caminhos, porque já não posso andar só.
So, in this piece, Já Não Sei Andar Só Pelos Caminhos, I wanted to draw attention to the extreme points of loneliness and emptiness that I found in the text. And I used this music as an example of a recited poem with instrumental dialogues because I enjoyed this experience very much. When I was composing, it felt for me much more dramatic, like a play at the theatre with actors on stage.
E eu gosto tanto dela, tanto, que não sei como a desejar. Se a não vejo, imagino-a e sou forte como as árvores altas. Mas se a vejo, tremo. Não sei o que é feito do que sinto na ausência dela. Todo eu sou qualquer força que me abandona. Toda a realidade olha para mim. Como um girassol. Com a cara dela no meio.
So here is the text of Passei Toda Noite Sem Dormir, based on Fernando Pessoa's poem. I repeated some of the words and also small phrases of the original poem. I didn't change any of the words. My intention here was to provoke even more the obsessive thinking that I found in this text and to emphasize the extreme point that is written in bold letters here. Now the same text in a very simple translation to English that I made just for this video to demonstrate my procedures. So he's talking about his obsessive thinking during the night, thinking about this feminine figure. He creates thoughts with the memory of what she is when she talks to him, and he continues having these obsessive thoughts, and he says, I am suffering from an enormous animated distraction, and when I feel like being with her, I almost just prefer not being with her, so I won't have to leave her afterwards.
Amar é pensar.
I used a pedal note on G during the most part of the piece, changing the sixth from minor to major to create ambiguity and to stress the ambience with this constant repetition as a parallel to the obsessive thinking of the text. I only changed the pedal near to the end when it reached the point I wanted to emphasize, at measure 155, going through G flat, F, and reaching the lowest note on E at measure 161, together with the highest note of the melody.
E eu quase que me esqueço de sentir, só de pensar nela. Não sei bem o que quero mesmo dela. E eu penso, se não nela. Uma grande distração animada quando desejo encontrá-la. Quase que prefiro não a encontrar. Prefiro não a encontrar. Para não ter que a deixar depois.
And then the poet on the text finishes his story quite tired, I presume, without knowing exactly what he wants after all. So I used long notes and less movements and rested at D minor. Then I went back to G.
Quero só pensar nela. Não peço nada a ninguém, nem a ela, se não pensar.
I would like to thank you for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you wish, please visit my website, patricialopes.net, and also my social networks. This song cycle is also available at the streaming platforms. I thank all of the people responsible for the recordings of the audios and the images and the editing of this video. And I would like to thank all of the musicians that recorded these pieces and that have been by my side and supporting me for the past years and helping me accomplish this project. I am grateful for my teachers, especially Marisa Rezende, and I would like to thank all at LunART Festival team, especially Eva, and I am grateful for having my music selected and for being one of the winners of Call for Scores this year of 2020. I am grateful for this opportunity to share my work. Thank you very much.